This episode, cleaning glass the easy way. Well, folks, spring is here. It's time to clean the glass around your house. So, John and I, we've been cleaning glass for actually way too long, and we decided we share some tips and tricks on how to actually clean glass the simple and easy way. Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show, home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Handyman Pros Radio Show, where our goal is to help save you time, money, and aggravation on your home maintenance and repair. This edition's entitled Cleaning Glass the Easy Way. And to help me explain, I'm here with my ever-cheerful co-host and old buddy, Johnny.
Hey, you look at all the glass behind me.
Look at all the glass behind me.
Yes.
It's all fake, but that's beside the point.
From what was it? The conference room?
It's the corporate center of the Handyman Pros Radio Show. That's right.
Coming from
we're here. We're recording live from the corporate center, which is the back of my truck. But anyway,
so anybody that's watching this, you'll see what we're talking about. Yeah. You know, the other day, I kind of got the spring fever, you know, and I was said, hey, I got to start to clean up a little bit around here. You know, it was a nice day. And I cleaned all the glass in the house on the first floor, and then I went up to the second floor, and what a pain in the butt, you know, that it just takes time to do that, but I've done it before, but I did it the hard way the first time. So I thought, you know, after you and I were talking about it, that we would, you know, kind of explain the quickest and easiest way to clean it and get the best results.
So I have a question for you. Do these projects always start off something like this? Because this is how it works at my house. Really simple. I'll just clean the glass. It'll only take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, just a couple of minutes. It doesn't take just a couple of minutes. You know, it takes hours. But
no, but I mean that's how I always start those kinds of projects. I'm like, and then you get one part of it done. Right. You know, you get one, but you go, dang, that looks good. Right. That looks good. I guess I'll do the rest. And then you're like, oh, and then you're into this full blown all day long. Why did I start this project, you know,
right.
kind of thing. So anyway, that's how it happens at my house. That's
right.
I'm sure.
Well, you know, the way I've always come to do it at this point is, you know, I know that people are out there with glass cleans. I see it all the time in restaurants. You know, or other places, you know, they have all these kids, you know, just wiping down windows with like a spray bottle. And it's like, oh man, no, that is so tedious and time consuming and all that. And you know, nothing that like most people out there, you know, don't, you know, probably already know, use a squeegee. And I just use Dawn.
I am going to tell you that the first thing you do is watch a professional window washer actually wash windows.
Right.
And if you've so my glass cleaning experience comes from back in the day when I first graduated from college. I worked for a guy in the vending business, and the guy in the vending business owned a cleaning company before he owned a vending company. And he was a real stickler about keeping the fronts of the vending machines clean, including the glass, because it was all about marketing and being able to see the product clearly and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he taught me how to clean glass, and the way he taught me how to clean glass is the same way I've seen professional window cleaners clean glass, where you use a squeegee, but you also use the soft fuzzy brushes, you know, that are wide, and they use a professional window cleaner uses a long narrow bucket that they drop those things in, and they wet down the windows, and they use a solution generally, yes, of Dawn. I use Dawn, and a little bit of vinegar works really, really well. And you wet that thing down and you squeegee, clean the squeegee, clean the squeegee again, clean the squeegee. Because if your glass is really dirty, John, is this true? Did you see this when you were doing it? The dirt will stick on the squeegee, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you've got to, you know, I put a towel on the bottom of the floor, and I just went to town and because if you don't soap the windows up, you're just going to be smearing garbage all over the place. And
Correct.
Trying to get that off initially with like a window cleaner or anything else, I mean, it's like it just takes forever. and
It can be done,
but it's
but
like
yes,
six
it's very
times to
time
get done
consuming.
when you can just
Yeah.
soap the window up really good and just squeegee it down. And then a lot of water's coming down. I just got the towel on the bottom catching all the water. Um, you know,
But do you rag the squeegee off every time you draw
yep,
it across the window?
yep. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it gets filled with dirt and stuff. So
Yeah, and then you're
then you're
just
just
smearing
smearing
the
the
dirt
dirt
again.
all over the place again. Yep.
Yep. So each time you draw across the window and draw across,
Right.
right? You don't do up and
Right.
down. You go across, right? So that's a tip too. Use a squeegee, go across. The reason you start at the top.
Yep. Yeah.
I know it
Started. I know it's starting.
sounds
No. I
simple.
know. I know.
Sounds simple, but you start at the top. Why? Because
Yeah.
gravity drags the
Right.
water
Yep.
down, as Johnny's saying. And yes, it will generally make a pretty good mess. So if you're doing the inside windows, John's tip is that's a really good one, John, is put some kind of a towel or something to catch the water. Because there's water and soapy, dirty
Right.
water is
Right.
really what it is, will come off. And outside, not an issue
Right.
generally, right? Unless you don't want the streaks on your house. Because if your glass is really dirty, it'll leave dirt
Yep.
streaks down the side of your home, down your siding. And if that's the case, then use the way that I've done it in the past is I basically have a hose, and at the end I just hose off underneath the window. That's my tip for doing that because I don't know any other way to do it because I'm going to clean the glass and run it down, and then I don't hose the window because that's sort of counterproductive. It leaves water spots on your window, but I will hose off the sills usually and then below the sills because you'll leave dark if it's really been a long time since you cleaned the glass, you'll leave dark streaks
Yep.
in
Yep.
there as well. So, John, when you were doing the high windows, were you using an extension pole? Were you doing it from outside, or were you hanging out the window?
No, no. I mean, you can use an extension pole. If it's high, um, I, I just have I bought a squeegee and a brush, all in one type of thing. One side's the
Yep.
and that thing goes on a pole just like a paint roller,
Yep.
and
Like a
you're
paint
good
roller.
and you're
Yep.
good
And
to
you can
and you're
you can
good to
get
go. Um,
yeah.
but I will say, if you're going to do outside windows and they're on the second story, I'm not leaning out the window. I try that Windex stuff. That works pretty well for that. That you put it at the end of a hose.
The hose. Yeah, I was
That's
going to ask.
yeah.
Have
I've
you ever
used
used?
that a
I've
lot,
never
and it
used
works.
that. So
It works really well. But I had to do the insides. I had to do the insides first, and then of course the next 2 days it rained. So, so Anyways, there you
never
go.
fails. Never
But
fails.
and while you're at it, with all that water and everything, you can wash off the rest of the window too. The frames and everything. And
Right.
and then I had to do the blinds.
Blinds, Johnny. What are the tips for the
Well,
blinds?
I closed the blinds. These are like not fabric blinds or anything. They're wood blinds, and I just close them. And I just went to town with I just had to put some soapy water, not soak these things down, but enough just to loosen up all the dirt, and it all comes rolling down onto the towel, and then
Yeah.
take the towel and dry them off. I mean, I didn't do all the windows on both sides of this house. I mean, I've got 43 windows in this house, and it's like, yeah, not going to happen. I mean, what I did was took me what, I don't know, 3 hours, I guess,
Most of the
three
day.
three and a
Yeah,
half
it was
hours.
most of the day.
But you just you go to town. You'll get used to it, how to work the squeegee, and then you're good to go. Now I will say, if you miss some spots, now most of the dirt's gone at this point, but if you miss some spots and there's some soap that's still there, and as it dries, you might have some in the corners or whatever, you can get out the Windex or whatever and just take those little things off of there. Not a big deal, you know.
Yeah, then it makes
Yeah,
it manageable to do it by hand. Yes, once you get to that point. Now, one thing too, when you are using the pole, now I said you have to go across on the window. It's kind of hard to go across with an
right.
extension pole, so those you're generally doing up and down. But if you have a choice, it's better to go across. But again, I forgot on the extension pole when I've done it with the extension pole, it's always vertical. I'm drawing vertical, but those are second
Now,
story
the other
windows.
thing I will
So
say is that, if you have double pane glass and you have like the trim and everything on the inside squeezed between the glass panes, you're golden. Now, if you have a bunch of separate little panes to do, Speaking of pains, that's a pain. That's a pain in the
pains
glass.
in the neck.
So,
yeah.
Now I've got different sizes, and what I did was I just bought a couple different squeegees and I just cut them down, so they fit perfectly into those panes.
Yeah.
Then you're done.
Yeah. If you have an older home that has single pane glass and you have lots of panes, definitely, most of those panes are going to be the same size, hopefully.
Well, yes, it depends upon the windows, but you're correct. And then you're golden. I mean, you get creative, and it when you do that, it cuts down on even more time.
How much we talking about for a squeegee, John? Just
cheap squeegees are like what, $5 or $6 a piece. I don't even know right now.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I think I paid for them. And we were talking earlier. I like the ones from the blue store instead of the orange store. So that's my tip on squeegees.
$20 to get you set up with a window.
Correct.
20 to $30 to get you set up with a window cleaning kit, which includes the scrubber. A scrubber, a good squeegee. You generally want a squeegee that has a replaceable rubber track if you can. But there are one-time uses. When you're done with it, you throw it away. But a good squeegee, you can take the rubber off and put new rubber on. And really it's a lifetime last. I mean, you'll replace the rubber, but besides that, it's a lifetime buy. So you spend the money today, you'll have it for years and years and years and years and years. So anyway, all right. What else we got, Johnny?
That's really about it. I think after we were talking about it, it's like, maybe we bring this one out there. I just hate to see people waste a lot of time cleaning glass and not getting it done right.
Well, and not getting it done right. Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, our goal is always to save you time, money, and aggravation, and get a better product. Right. At the end of the day, it's always about getting that better product. So, it is what it is. I know that John likes to clean his windows much the same way I do, because it helps us identify when the spaceships are coming to land.
Yeah. Well,
we can see them better. Is what it is. We see them better.
Well, I will. So
anyway,
I'll leave you. I'll leave you with this, but that cleaning glass goes right in the same file as painting for me. So
yeah. Except it costs a lot less money.
Yeah.
a lot less money. So anyway, all right, folks, if you appreciate the Handyman Pros Radio Show, please tell your friends and neighbors, send them a link to these shows. We hope that you do enjoy it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, give us an email, questions@handymanprosradioshow.com or at handymanprosradioshow@gmail.com. We will take any ideas. If there's something you want to learn about, please don't hesitate. Send us ideas. If there's somebody that wants to be on the show, send us an email. We will certainly take it under consideration. But we do like to talk to our people, and we certainly are. We do not have all the answers for everything, and we certainly don't have a lot of show idea answers. We do, but most of the things we do come up just as we're doing work either around our house or out in the field. And we do work out in the field almost every day. So with that, we'll see you next week on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.